Hey everybody, and welcome to Mukilteo, Washington. I'm going to keep my voice down because I think I'm going to be very loud. And we've got a train going by. That's down below. But let's go back to the wide shot. We've got things to share tonight. Just a second. Okay, Mark Horner, Beyond 90 Seconds. Thanks for joining live. Nice to have you here. I got here just as the sun was going down below the Olympic Mountains, obviously to the west, and there is just nothing but deep haze over Puget Sound right now. So let's go back to the wide shot, and while I do that, I want to show you that sunset. So here's the sun going down as I arrived. Look at the color. I've also got some other clips to show you, so let's just go through them. This was just a few minutes ago. Both ferries were going across the Sound. This one towards Whidbey Island in Clinton. And then there was one arriving here at Mukilteo. We can show you that too. This was about 15 minutes ago. Again, if you're just now joining, you're hearing the sound of a train down below. And so that you can best hear me, I've got my microphone up to my mask, and I know that's probably too loud. So I'll try and keep my voice down. There's another scene that we could show you. Despite the smoky weather, people out. You know, I think it's homecoming season. There are all sorts of reasons to be out and getting pictures taken this time of year. And a lot of people aren't letting the really unhealthy air stop them. So that was just a few minutes ago in this shot. Let's go back to our live cam. We'll go to camera 2. I hope you're all having a good evening. And let's bring it back to camera 1. Now it's getting quiet because the train just left. Let's see if we can just look between down to the beach a bit more here. Here we go. Let's do it this way. There we go. And I know the train was making a lot of noise, so once again, welcome to Mukilteo, Washington. Great to have you here. My name is Mark Horner. We're live. Mukilteo, for those who don't know, is about 30 miles north of Seattle. And we are getting wildfire smoke galore. It has just been something else. Let's go back to our other angle. There we go. All right. And I apologize if my audio is really loud. I'll try and keep my voice down. So let's keep that shot going for just a moment. I think I can set up a different shot here. Yeah, let's do this. Okay. We'll switch to our other camera. Yeah, we'll do this. What I want to do is I want to check to see if any of you are making comments. Not sure if many people have come on board, but to check this live. But I do want to check, and in order to do that, I've got to change to portrait mode on this phone. We'll check to see if I can see any comments, because I definitely want to respond. I'd love to engage with you guys when I do live streams. Okay, I'm checking, and it says Betty Fern. Hey, Betty, nice to have you here. Thank you, Mr. Mark. It looks relaxing to see the view. Good morning from Borneo, Kuching, Sarawak. Wow, thank you very much, Betty. You're a long ways away. We're dealing with this, all this forest fire smoke, and we have fire danger. It's really unusually warm for this time of year. So we're going to get this back in here. There we go. Kind of looks funny, I know, to have a little phone on top of a big tripod. All right. And for those of you who just joined late, I'll show you the sunset. This is shot. The sunset was at 6:18, but because of the rise of the Olympic Mountains and the islands and everything in the way, so just a little bit sooner than that. So this was shot, let's see, it's 6:35 now. So just over a half hour ago, maybe around a half hour ago. Here we go. Here's a look at the sun going down over Whidbey Island. That's the island. It's the land you see across the water. And beyond that, you can see mountaintops. Those are the Olympic Mountains. And we'll give you another perspective here. And then I'll tell you about where I'm at a little bit more specifically for those who might be wondering. Okay, so back live now. We are at a really cool place where over the years I've done many live streams and a lot of still photography, recorded video. This is Pioneer Cemetery. It's on the bluff overlooking Mukilteo. And it's much like a park-like setting. There are benches. And this place there are graves here from the early white settlers of Mukilteo. Of course, the indigenous people, the Native Americans, were here first. They had settlements right down below here around what is now Lighthouse Park. And the lighthouse is a really familiar landmark here in Mukilteo. But around the 60s or 70s, this area was really not in good shape. And I believe it actually was the 70s. And I think the mayor at the time and some volunteers, they really invested in cleaning this place up and making sure that people could see and respect these grave sites that are here of this cemetery. So it's much like a park. People bring their dogs here, walk through. There's lovely benches that are set up. And right now there are fall leaves. So over the seasons, watch this tree leaf and lose its leaves time and time again. There's a big rhododendron bush, some rose bush. It's just a really nice place. So just off camera and down below, there's the beach that, in fact, we'll just go to a different shot of it. Here, we'll just go over here. All that smoke out there. But you can see the beach way out there, and that's where the crowds are. That's where the bonfires are. But if you want some peace and quiet and just a little bit of elbow room, up here above the bluff, hey, that's my kind of view. And while we continue to record this, I will change that other camera angle. Even though it's well past sunset now. And I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll show you, play a little bit more show and tell so you can have a even better perspective. I wish I had a okay. I'll show you a bit here. We're going to switch the camera first. Show you more of this beautiful location where we're at on this smoky evening. Okay. So there's the bench with my camera gear bags on it. And then what I'll do is I'm just going to go handheld with the tripod that has this iPad on it. So our iPhone was streaming from that camera, that tripod over there. But if we come over here, I'll just show you a bit more of this beautiful historic cemetery. It's low light now, so it's going to look a little pixelated and so forth. There we go. Of course, it's evening, so this place really lights up beautifully with daylight on it too. Now let's go ahead and set this down. Gotta make sure it's steady, and we'll tilt this up. Well, let's do it like this. That's Whidbey Island, if you're just joining us, up there across the water. All right. So, just for those of you who joined a moment ago, I'm going to check the comments here again to see if anybody's commented. But before we do that, let's just show you some shots again in case you joined late. Here's a ferry that this was about 20 minutes ago, going towards Whidbey Island after leaving Mukilteo. And while that one was going toward the island, this one was arriving at the new ferry dock. I still call it the new ferry dock. What is it, a year or two old now? Beautiful facility. All right. And that's what it looks like down there live now. And I am going to try and read your comments once again, in case anybody else is joining us from near or far. Borneo was the comment previously, from Borneo, if I understood that correctly, which is just wild and awesome at the same time. All good. Okay. Okay, Betty says, welcome, Mr. Mark. Have a wonderful evening to you. Thanks, Betty, and you're always so good about commenting on the YouTube videos. Really appreciate that. Thank you. And we'll put this back on. And let's go back to the other camera. There it is. Let's go ahead and just pick up these sticks and show you this perspective. We had a train as this live stream was started. We had a train down below. Tide's not really high right now. It's not far out either. There we go. But even at this late hour, it's still really obvious where the smoke is hanging low and where there are much clearer skies above. So you can see all that smoke, just a blanket. We're in that same type of blanket. That's what we're in. And I'll zoom out here and just to give you more of an appreciation from it. Normally we'd see a gap between islands out there in the distance, just right of center. Boy, but now let's zoom out and you'll be able to better appreciate just that layer of smoke. See how we got much clearer skies overhead, but that's like a pillow over the land, that dark band of smoke, and that extends this way and across so much of Puget Sound. And we're still getting this bit over here, where we go. Right over here, we're still getting this faint pink, orange, apricot, call it what you will, reflection well past sunset on the water. And that's all just because of the refraction of the light through the smoke. I think I'm hearing the rumble of the ferry. I am, so we'll watch the ferry go out, you guys. That'll be a nice way to wrap things up tonight, won't it? Just a second. Okay, here we go. Let's watch the ferry emerge, and what a great way to wrap up this live stream. And if nothing else, the visuals should really, more than anything I can say, just show you how extensive the poor air quality is here. As I mentioned in yesterday's live stream from nearby Snohomish, it's unhealthy air, not just for people who may have certain health conditions or be predisposed to bad air. It's unhealthy for everybody. And as I left my home and got into the car to load my gear this evening, I opened the door to my SUV, and instant swirl of small bits of ash all around me. Conditions have been really dry, and there's a high fire danger, red flag warnings for much of the Cascade Mountains on the western side at least. I'm not sure about the east. There we go. I hope you had a great day. Here in the Puget Sound area, many of us are Seattle Seahawks fans, so we feel good about what we saw overall on the field today. The team seems to be turning the corner. The offense was not as dynamic as it had been, but that was okay because the defense stepped up. And a lot of people say Arizona Cardinals were missing some key players, but yeah, Seahawks missing some key players too. Let's go ahead and take the live banner off. Thanks so much for checking out this live stream. Feel free to subscribe. I am at Beyond 90 Seconds on YouTube. You can also find me there on Twitter. I'm over on Instagram too if you'd like to check that out. And this is live. Earlier we showed you some recorded video just after sunset of the ferries on the water, and it's much darker now. There are some people you may hear on the beach down below. It is getting dark. So the shot that you're looking at right now is live on my iPhone 12 Pro Max, and it's holding up pretty well in this low light. And if we go to the iPad, this is wide. It's struggling a bit with the low light. It's understandable. It's actually much darker than it looks. So it's making something out of very little that's available light. So that's pretty good. All right. This has been really fun to bring you guys this live stream. Hope you've enjoyed it. Before I say goodbye, let's just look at the sunset one more time. So this is pre-recorded video from tonight's sunset. Sun setting over the Olympic Mountains. My kind of sunset, although I would gladly sacrifice all that beautiful color if we could remove the smoke and just have a typical natural sunset. A lot of drama at sunset and sunrise with the smoke in the air. Something small just flew by very close. Very quick flickers and misdirections or different directions, and I'm wondering if that was a bat. All right, so that was our sunset, and this is live. So with that, my friends, thank you so much for watching. Tell you what, I will just check the comments one more time. No, I think I'm going to just wrap it up. Should probably get going. And we're really losing light there, aren't we? Wow. Even on the iPad cam. Yeah. Okay. We'll wrap it up there. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great evening. Hope